Hello YouTube and welcome to today's channeled message. Firstly, I want you to take a couple of moments and sit with this channeled message that I'm bringing to you. If you've crossed this post, then Spirit are definitely leading you to the messages that you're meant to hear to allow yourself to reflect and grow. To reflect and grow, we have to first bring to our consciousness the things that we are meant to know, the things that we're meant to sit with. And that's why Spirit bring these channeled messages, because they want to guide people. They want to help you to see things differently. They want to help you to understand the meaning of life is so much greater than the meaning you give it. So allowing yourself just to take a moment to really sit into this space. The channel message that I want to bring to you today is actually inspired by the Emperor Tarot card. And I'm going to show you the Emperor Tarot card. This card has inspired me. Tarot is something that I absolutely love. I work with tarot daily to be bringing myself messages and other people messages. I use tarot to tap into the subconscious of other people to be able to bring their stuff up to the surface. So it was quite apt, really, that Spirit led me to the tarot to look at this. And the channel message that I'm bringing you today is actually about the masculine wounding and how your masculine wounding is showing up in your life. In humanity, because of so much pain and wounding through families, through ancestral wounding, collective wounding, societal wounding, we have become an isolated society. No longer are we thriving in connections. You're taught to self-isolate. You're taught to walk away from anything that doesn't serve you. You're actually being taught less resilience. And this is coming from well-intentional people who are wanting to help people heal, but are only teaching sub-level stuff. Walk away if it doesn't serve you. Put your guard up, put boundaries in. But without no context, this is leaving people to just walk away from everything without knowing how to navigate it. The minute they feel that something's wrong, they're running. To isolate themselves and stop sharing how they feel and being vulnerable because fear of judgment and fear of no support, because at some point they've had no support. The world is teaching everyone less tolerance for anyone else's stuff. And it's about a balance. It's about the balance between learning to tolerate other people and their wounding, but also learning when to know to have your boundaries, when to know that something's not good for you. But right now we're in this ultra-masculine wounding of walk, cut anything out, armor yourself up, focus on your goals, focus on yourself, focus on your needs. To thrive as humans, that's not what we're here for. More people are feeling depressed because more people are becoming, maybe this is you, becoming self-focused, self-governed, not only worry about yourself as if no one else cares, because you've probably got children and a husband or a wife or a partner. You've probably got people around you that you do care, but you have sub-level relationships with. You don't ask much from them. You don't share much about yourself. You armor yourself up. You don't ask much about them, or you may over-listen to them. But either or, the relationships and connections are one really of isolation. You will spend a lot more time on your own, and when you are with people, it will feel a little bit shallow. You may be focused on who you think you should be and how you think you should show up to the world, goals that you think you should create, how you think your home should look. And this may either be fueling you to keep going, or it may be stifling you to feel you're not good enough. Those of you that are watching my video, you have a passion for people. You have a passion for bonding. You have a passion for connecting with people, loving people, but do you know what's happened to you? You've been hurt. You've been invalidated. You have been unsupported. because people who you had to rely on at some point had their own wounds, which meant they taught you to not rely on anyone else. And then when you're taught to not rely on anyone else as you grow up, you create coping mechanisms to not rely on anyone else. And then the times that you do rely on people, and the minute you feel that they're not supporting you, you pull back in again. Because people are wounded, people are in pain, and everyone is trying to survive, I think, to some degree, until they're learning self-care and self-healing and self-work. People are in relationships where it's all or nothing. You're in relationships where it's all or nothing. You're either giving your all and supporting and listening, or you're feeling unheard, unvalidated and used, so you pull away and don't give anything. And then you miss them, you miss going out, so you do it all over again. You may feel like, oh, I don't really want friends. You may feel like, oh, I'm just happy how it is. I'm happy to have shallow conversations. I'm happy for no one to rely on me. I'm happy. But the truth is, anyone that I've ever worked with who says they're happy with this are working with me because something's not feeling right in their life. Because they're either depressed, disconnected, because humans are here to bond. But we have to learn how to heal and bond. The collective society is teaching you the first step of healing, yes, is to pull away. It's to pull away so you can really recalibrate what is working for you, what isn't, what relationships you value and need a little bit of work, what relationships you may want to let go. But what it's doing is it's keeping you stuck of letting everyone go. Walk away. But that's only the first stage. The next stage is, yes, walk away from that. That really isn't serving you. But firstly, you've got to ask, before I walk away from what's not working for me, relationships or connections, how am I showing up? Because life is a mirror, my friends. I really realise this. When you never text your friends, they're not going to text you. When you don't show up to things, the likelihood of them showing up for you is going to be slim. But if you over show up, and you show up all of the time, and you answer all the phone calls, then there's not a balance, is there? You're showing them that you'll be there at all costs, or you're showing them you won't be there at all. There has to be a happy medium. To have healthy friendships, there has to be a happy medium. To learn to bond and connect means we have to learn that every human inherently has wounds. You have wounds. And to teach others how to accept us, we have to teach ourselves how to accept us as well as others. The reason why you're struggling to accept others is because you don't accept the parts about yourself you don't like. Or you don't even know you have them. Maybe you get angry at your friend because she lets you down. But then if you took 10 minutes to sit with yourself and realise that actually, maybe in life you let some people down because your anxiety might be playing up, or because you feel like I just don't want to go to that because actually that person doesn't bother me. How much do you let people down? Because what we dislike in others so greatly is what really we dislike in ourselves. And the real reason why we dislike it in others is because we haven't healed the fact we dislike it in ourselves. And we're not meant to eradicate any part of ourselves that we don't like. We're meant to sit with it. We're meant to understand that we're human with yin and yang, negative, positive, good, bad. Well, everything just is. Selfishness may be bad if it's all of the time, but selfishness at some points is needed. Sometimes we need to be selfish because nobody else is going to put us first. And this is the power of a bit of shadow work. Learning to integrate the parts about yourself that you don't like. First of all, asking, what are they? I don't like the part of myself that snaps quickly. And then you may realise that's why you get intolerable with everyone else that snaps quickly. Because it's part of yourself that you don't like. And it's not about changing it initially. It's about bringing it into your awareness. Because every part of you is good enough. Every part of you is part of who you are. It's the part of you that you're not aware of that drives you. And that might not be great because you're not aware of it. If you're not aware that you can be stubborn and a bit selfish at times or self-absorbed, you will think you need to be like that, and that will drive you, but that could also drive other people away. And then you will feel that nobody bothers with you, but without really realising and looking at your own behaviours, how actually your own behaviours are fueling everything around you. When you learn to bond with people, when you learn to recognise that people hurt people without meaning to, that most things you feel upset about are either a lack of communication, the fact that if you don't communicate that you feel upset by something and you hold on to it, that's going to create resentment. You're going to push them away. But if you talk about it and they could either go, oh, I didn't mean it that way, or I'm sorry that hurt you, the communication can help you bond, because it can help you know more about each other. Now, if they don't say that and they get angry every time you have communication, then that shows in itself that they can't grow with you, or they're not going to be able to be in a healthy space with you. When you learn to show up and accept other people, kind of who they are. And one thing that I say about healing in relationships, it's losing expectations but having requirements. I require in connections to feel respected. I require in connections that to a certain degree, I'm going to be thought about at different points. I don't get to determine when that is or how that should look. But if I can feel in a connection, I don't expect them to have to turn up to every birthday and expect them to ring me every month or week, or expect them to turn up to, because with every expectation's a disappointment, and with expectations, you're expecting somebody to be who you want them to be. Well, then that means you're also trying to expect yourself to be who you think other people want you to be. When you realise you can show up in the best way that you can, and that actually others will show up in the best way that they can, sometimes that best way from others isn't feeling like it's good enough for you. So that'll either teach you, okay, to step your energy back and only see them when you see them, or walk away. But to be so cutthroat and realise we either walk away or stay is almost categorising things as if they're black and white. Relationships and friendships can change dynamic, but that doesn't mean they have to end. When you match somebody's energy, if they're meant to be in your life, then that energy will either increase because they are going to be in your life at a big level, or you'll enjoy them at the energy that they have in your life. People have been led to get their needs met through their friends and partners, and this is what's making you all, and it did me, sad, because when they don't do what we want them to do, support us how we want them to support us, show up when we think they should, it hurts us. But the truth is, it's because we're not meeting our own needs. When we support ourselves and we love ourselves, and that means, yes, we have boundaries, but it also means we invest in ourselves and people. So sometimes I can show up for somebody, sometimes I can't. But the investment in myself means that when I do show up for them, I have no expectation of how they should be. Because if they are meant to be in my life and be healthy, then what I get back from them will be healthy. And if they're not, then I will see their behaviours time and time again, and I'll realise, okay, the behaviours are the sign of what I need to face. When we've been hurt, we put boundaries up and we put walls up, and we expect people to show us that they're not like other people. The truth is, everyone's the same to some degree, because everyone's wounding has impacted them in similar ways. And quite often what pain you're carrying is the pain they're carrying, the pain of not being good enough, the pain of not knowing how to navigate friendships and connections. I have found in my own life, having more unconditional love and acceptance has really allowed me to hold space for people in my life with no expectation. Yes, there is a requirement that I feel valued to some degree, and if I don't feel valued, then I understand where my place is. But when I show up in those ways, I don't overgive either. I give 50% of myself as much as I can, and sometimes it's not 50%, sometimes it's 30 or 20, because I have a family and a job. So I don't expect my friends to give me any more than what I'm giving them. And actually, when we realise that we work, or we don't work, but we have a family or we have things going on, quite a lot of the friendships and connections that we think were healthy were codependent. We relied on them to make us happy, and we relied on ourselves to make them happy. We had to always show up, always try and fix them when something's wrong. When you realise that that's codependence and not actually a healthy friendship is, if I can support you, I will, but I can't save you. I may be able to show up for you in a small way, but I can't save you from your pain. And sometimes my pain is greater that I can't show up for their pain, but then they also understand that, and I understand that when they're going through their pain and can't show up for me, it's not because they don't love me, it's because maybe they're going through something. And this takes the stress and the pressure from what friendship should look like in connections. Because when you just accept things for what they are, do what you can, and you start to become healthier in yourself, for one, the people that aren't really that healthy or seeing things a bit clearer and what's healthy for a friendship will fall away, and the ones that do will stay around. You have to also make sure that you're behaving the ways that you want your life to be driven by. And for me, that meant, well, I didn't want to be in environments no more where gossip occurred, where talking about other people occurred, where judging people occurred. And I'd been in those environments for a long time, so I had to go, right, okay, I'm either going to change the conversation with the people that I used to be around and not engage in that, or I'm not going to engage in the time and energy into those spaces. And it doesn't mean that anyone is better than anyone else, but it does mean where your energy goes is where it flows, and it creates more of that. So putting your energy into yourself, into connections that are doing things that are more connections, like spending time with people in group settings, like-minded people, spending time with people, going maybe for a little bit of lunch or going for a walk, doing things that are conducive to how you want to live your life moving forward. But this is being called to you because I feel for you, you're either somebody that is isolated and you don't really have many friends because you're scared of getting hurt, or you are giving too much of yourself in friendships and always feeling let down. For me, I was both. Because I'd been hurt, I pulled away. And then I wanted friends so badly, I would give all of myself. Then I would pull away again. Now I have a healthy group of friends that I do not see all of the time. I do not speak to all of the time. If there's something going on, then I show up where I can for them. They will for where they can for me. I take each friendship as it comes, as the dynamics change. I become aware of whether it's healthy, how much I'm giving, so that I'm never giving more of myself. Some friendships go a little bit lower and some friendships go through stages that are a little bit higher. It's not about having a stagnancy on how that relationship should look, that it has to look a certain way, allowing the ebbing and flowing of friendships, because some people are here for a season, some people are here for a year, some people are here for a long time. But when you allow things to flow, you're allowing things to grow. But you've also got to learn to be happy and content with who you are, so that you don't rely on friendships and people to make you happy, because they never will, and you'll always be disappointed. You've got to learn to really integrate the parts of yourselves that you don't think that you like, and sit with and learn to become happy with your own company. Hoping this video has brought you something. I just give what I get, and I hope that it makes sense. I'm not going to lie, when I'm giving it, I feel like it sounds a bit of gibberish, because I'm hoping people understand this, but spirit channel it. I allow it to come up. Please do comment in the comments if this resonates with you. I've got beautiful communities on Facebook and TikTok, and I'm wanting this space to also be a beautiful community where we can talk and we can share our experiences and we can support one another in our healing journey. Namaste and all my love to you.